If you need some background on this one, let me suggest you take a look at the video I posted March 25th, titled Trump's Criminal Lawyer Rudy Giuliani. The link is in the description. In that video, I outlined the perils Rudy is facing these years on account of the planet cycles turning, so to speak, once his criminal boss failed to hang on to the presidency. Today's news reports state that the feds raided Crazy Rudy's apartment around 6 a.m. New York time. The planet positions are symbolic indeed. Challenging planet transits present us with problems which, if we work to resolve and conquer, will result in life progress that is frequently super important. But it's quite another matter if they coincide with being raided by the feds, and worse still, if they're doing it for obviously good reason. To start, we look at the big stuff, and just eyeballing, we spot the big planet transits. Saturn is especially notable since it is powerful, but also dangerous at birth, being highly elevated, as well as square the ascendant. You can go high, but you gotta play it straight. Now, transiting at 13 degrees Aquarius and therefore tightly squaring his Mercury, ruler of the Sun, and tenant of the ninth of law in legal matters, as well as ruler of the rising sign. Mercury is a very important planet. Uranus is transiting through the ninth at 10.5 degrees Taurus, which is still more than 2 degrees from that same Mercury, but since a look ahead in the ephemeris tells you it will barrel forward to a near 15 degree station, Mercury is thereby already snagged in its influence. Natal Uranus is co-ruler of 6, and it is flamed out by too close a solar force, so this planet is unlikely to be helpful in this transit, and even less so when it happens to be squaring transiting Saturn at the same time. So these two big planets alone would be cause for pretty serious concern, but let's keep looking. Jupiter at 28 degrees Aquarius appears supportive, trining Saturn, but when you see it's on the other side by sign of all the Leo planets, as well as moving into a square to the ninth house, legal house, Venus, you realize it's up to no good at all. Neptune at 22 Pisces, going through the seventh, which is another area where legalities show up, is approaching the quincunx to the 12th house moon, which isn't good either, and neither is Pluto at 26.75 degrees Capricorn, doing another quincunx to Saturn in that case. Pluto's hit is emphasized by the fact it is making a station right around this time when the raid happened. Now you go a little deeper and it gets worse, because you notice his 12th house cluster of Leo planets make for an average energy focus around 13.5 degrees. And you realize this means Saturn is hitting it straight on from the other end in Aquarius, and ominously it is moving to a station in the third week of May at precisely 13.5 degrees. Now look at the transiting cluster up in Taurus and get their average degrees, and you discover this 4-planet cluster averages 13.75 degrees, which isn't just awful close to the degrees of natal Mercury, but it is also collectively squaring the 12th house Leo energy focus point. And if you want a curiously poetic final correlation, you go to the fast-moving moon at 26.5 Scorpio at the time of the raid, and you realize Scorpio is Rudy's third house, which is where all your communication devices, phones, laptops, and papers reside, which is what the feds were looking for, especially the secret ones, the ones he was trying to hide, which is where Scorpio, the sign of secrets, comes in. And finally, you see that the moon is sextile the transiting Pluto and doing a quincunx to Saturn at the same time. This is not good either. In the astrological lexicon, two 150-degree quincunxes mediated by a sextile is a natal pattern known as the finger of God. In this transit situation, it looks to me like God might just be giving Rudy the finger.